Hello everybody, this is Dave's Acrylic Pouring. I'm Dave again, and I've started going back through some of my other videos thinking that I had already done this, and I realized that I hadn't this morning, so let me be the first to apologize for this. I've done all these other kinds of paintings and everything and mixed, and I don't have a video dedicated straight to my pouring medium and how I mix my pouring medium. So that's what I'm going to do today. I started mixing it up in the cups and everything, or I started pouring it in the cups and everything. I realized I didn't have a video, and I wanted to show you guys the prep work that goes into one of these pours. So we've already had videos before on the mixing of paints and stuff, so this is going to be a short video on mixing my pouring medium. Okay, so what we have is we have 2 cups, and these are 16-ounce cups here, of glue all, Elmer's glue all, and 2 16-ounce cups of the Flood Floetrol. Okay, and that is the base of my pouring medium. So what I do is I don't have a mixer or a cup or anything that's big enough right now, so I'm going to do 1 and 1 on this. We'll put my glue in first. Get all that in there. Okay. And then I am going to put in my Floetrol. It's 1-to-1 mixture. And as you can see, I do not have enough room to put any more in. I haven't done anything special with this right now other than pour it straight from the original bottle directly into these cups. So now we're going to mix this up with, I have this little whisk right here above this thing. Thank you to my wife for getting that for me, along with so many numerous other things that she has picked up for me to help me along with my acrylic pouring. Alright, mix that real good. Make sure you get the bottom so we can pull that glue up and get it mixed with the Floetrol. Did you see that lump that just came out of there? That was glue that has not been mixed. You should be able to pull whatever tool that you're using to mix this with up, and it should come off there fairly clean. Just like that. Set that up to the side for a second, and now I have my container, I have my funnel, and most important, I have my strainer. You've got to strain this stuff out because the Floetrol and the glue both can create little globules in them that will get into your paint when you go to mix it. So we want to definitely strain this out to make sure that we don't do that. I've got several containers that I have repurposed. As you can see here, this is an old orange juice container. I have old Artist Loft, Flow acrylic bottles, some old Floetrol quart bottles, things like that I use. Just cap that up. This one is done. All full. And I always make sure I put something around it to let me know that this is my pouring medium, so I don't accidentally grab it and use it like paint. And as you can see all those little globule thingies that are in there? That could have easily ended up in your paint later on down the road, because you're not going to see it in your pouring medium in its fluid consistency right now. Alright, so we'll move this over and go back to our glue. Now to this mixture, you can also add, if you're so inclined, a little bit, maybe probably 100 milliliters or 150 milliliters of Liquitex pouring medium. You can also use the Golden's pouring medium or Deco Art or whatever it is that you have. You can add that to this mixture if you feel like you might need it. Depending on what you're going for, which paint pour that you're going to do, it's depending on what I put in mine. So this is my base of what I'm going to use for my pouring mediums. So if I'm going to do something that I think has a lot of white negative background that might have a possibility of cracking or crazing, then yes, I'm going to use something else, the GAC 800 or the Liquitex pouring medium or something like that to really make sure that I get those good binding agents besides the Elmer's glue wall. Now, as you notice, I did not mix any water into this pouring medium. I don't do that for longevity of the shelf life. I want to leave it in there just the way it is in their chemical forms, because Floetrol is aquaphobic, which makes it repel water a little bit until it's actually mixed in here. So when you add water to it and leave it, it actually starts to break down your pouring medium. So I'm not going to add water right now. I will only add it as needed. Looks like it's coming out of there in a pretty clear consistency, fluid-wise. So let's get to pouring. Excuse me, allergies have been bad this time of year. All right. Now on these that you can't see through, I lift it up a little bit so that I can see down into the container, so I know when to stop pouring. Yes, I've made a mess before. Had to clean it up. Alright, getting close. Alright, looks like I'm going to be able to fit it all in there. Alright, so there you have it, 2 good sized containers of pouring medium. This Elmer's glue wall runs about, I think it's like $7 or $8 for the gallon here, and this Floetrol is about $14.50 for this gallon. So when you are looking at how much is in these containers, when you mix them together and you get 2 containers like this, the cost of mixing your own medium is far, far cheaper than buying them pre-bottled at the store. Now granted, some of these other ones, your GAC 800 and your Liquitex pouring mediums, are going to behave differently for, you know, the things that you're doing as far as anti-crazing and cracking and stuff like that. They're going to perform a little bit different, but for your basic pouring medium, for I would say probably 60% of the methods that are out there, the Floetrol and Elmer's glue wall recipe will work very well for you, and that is extremely cheap versus this being $16, this being $15 for this bottle, or $16 for this bottle, which I just found at another art supply store that was probably about $4 cheaper for this bottle than it was for the smaller bottle that I purchased somewhere else for $2 more. So glad we found that place. So there you go. That's the pouring mediums that I use, for my base pouring mediums that I use, and this should be good for most of your paint pours. All right, thank you very much for your time, and remember, pour on.